About 400 strong, they noisily expressed their anger over the ruling, which found there is no right to an abortion guaranteed in the U.S. Constitution, and thus individual states need to decide on laws surrounding it. Earlier in the day, 5 state lawmakers from Western New York, all Democrats, also angry about the Supreme Court decision, also noted that despite it, things really won't change in New York, where abortion rights are already written into state law.
I'm just thankful that we were able to codify abortion rights in New York so that all women here have the dignity of choice.
New York State will continue to allow for access to safe, legal abortion care. And we want not only New Yorkers to know it, we want our country people to know it.
In New York State, we have codified Roe versus Wade, but as we speak, Republicans in the Assembly and in the Senate are actually introducing bills, I got notifications today, on laws to chip away at the laws, at the statutes that we've already codified.
But in a statement, Senate Minority Leader Rob Ortt said Albany politicians will sadly use this ruling to fearmonger and weaponize this issue for their own political gain. They will also attempt to expand abortion laws even further, forcing taxpayers to fund abortions, including late-term abortions for non-New Yorkers. Meanwhile, these folks see the overturning of Roe v. Wade as the start of a slippery slope toward the erosion of other rights, such as gay marriage, that are also not referenced specifically in the United States Constitution.
We will not stop fighting!
Others are praising the decision, though, including the New York State Catholic Conference, with bishops across the state issuing a joint statement saying this just decision will save countless innocent children simply waiting to be born. And Bienvenido, which says it joins millions of Americans, including, quoting now, the majority of Hispanics who value human life, in celebrating. Dave McKinley, Channel 2 News.
David, thank you. Republican candidate for governor of New York, Congressman Lee Zeldin, released a statement today praising the Supreme Court's decision. He says in part, quote, "Today is a victory for life, for family, for the Constitution, and for federalism." Zeldin says that he believes New York State needs to better respect and defend life. Meanwhile, Governor Kathy Hochul says New York will always be a safe harbor for abortion rights. Just last week, she signed a package of bills reinforcing that stance. The bills include protection for abortion providers and patients. Governor Hochul joined Anderson Cooper earlier this evening on CNN.
We had abortion legal in our state since 1970, so this is deeply personal to all of us as the keepers of the flame. You know, we support this right. We cherish this right. And we feel for our sisters across this country who will no longer have access to control over their own bodies. In fact, they'll be subjected to government-mandated pregnancies. Think about what that means.
Well, weeks ahead of Roe being overturned, Governor Kathy Hochul pledged $35 million in taxpayer funding to support abortion providers across New York State. Well, with several states expected to restrict abortion now, New York could become a destination for anyone seeking reproductive health care. Republican State Senator Phil Boyle has introduced legislation in Albany to ban the use of taxpayer funds from funding abortions for non-residents. 2 on Your Side talked to local attorney Paul Cambria, who says other lawmakers could bring up even more concerns.
One of the issues will be whether or not people from other states can come to New York for legalized abortions, whether there would be some residency requirement or they could just come and avail themselves of the services. I mean, there are a lot of details.
Senator Boyle says, quote, "New York will remain a pro-choice state. Women will have the ability to travel from other states to New York to exercise their reproductive rights, but this does not mean that New York taxpayers should have to pay for it." Illinois now, leaders from Planned Parenthood are also expecting to see an increase in out-of-state patients. The president of Planned Parenthood of Illinois says that she was furious at the Supreme Court's ruling today, but added that abortion, quote, "will remain legal in Illinois." She highlighted several steps the organization has taken to prepare for the increase in patients traveling there.
Planned Parenthood of Illinois has been working for years to prepare for the additional anticipated desire for 20 to 30,000 patients who are now forced to flee their home states to get care here in Illinois. Planned Parenthood of Illinois has expanded the physical infrastructure of its health centers, and telehealth access.
And a Tennessee clinic has now decided to move their practice to Illinois to continue providing medical services for people from states with trigger bans on the abortion law. Well, what exactly is to come after the overturning of Roe v. Wade is still developing. We will continue to follow this closely and monitor all the updates anytime. You can find them at WGRZ.com.